Wow. Hello and welcome to 2023. My name is Ayalita Lito. Just for those who don't know me, I'm a feng shui practitioner here in the Bay Area, as well as, now with the current technology opportunities, the distance and locations are unlimited. So I've been practicing for more than 20 years. This is my full-time practice as a classically trained feng shui master. And I welcome anybody that is interested in mantic arts, feng shui, Chinese astrology, specifically the Zibai Doshu system, as well as the design and implementation. What we're doing today is the welcome to the Feng Shui Connect, my monthly free call, and there will be this is the transition time between the years. And before I start my presentation, I would like to share a story. The year has been transitioning from 22 to 23 has been very, very, I would say, full color tapestry for my life experience. And especially this was one of the holidays that allowed me to believe and sense and feel and kind of immerse myself into miracles. And a story I would like to share for just a few minutes was just very recent. My dad unexpectedly passed, and he passed on the 23rd of December and in Latvia. And one thing for sure I learned is that how precious is life and how things are impermanence affect us. At the point where I knew I was not able to be present at the funeral, and I made a peace with that, but I connected to him in a energetical and a spiritual aspect of things. And one of the signs and miracles that took place was as I was in Maui and on a Christmas Eve, I was swimming in the pool and I was staring at the dark sky. And in the dark sky, I just suddenly thought about when was the last time I really physically were present with my dad. And it's been a long, long time because I've been in the US for the last 25 years. And that instantly, that moment from that out of the black, blue, dark sky, there was something just coming swirling down and landed right into the water, right in front of me as I was swimming. And I could not believe myself. It was the full size praying mantis. Just right there that I fished out. I put it on my chest. I was crying. I was crying, immersing in that energetical response, how vivid, how tangible became his spiritual presence at that moment. And I was able to share with my family as I was bringing it, gently was bringing it to my family upstairs and sharing what happened just in a brief of the moments. And the praying mantis stayed with me for at least 20 minutes. It jumped on a Christmas tree. It kind of gave me a gentle kiss on the third eye. When I took it outside on a balcony and just like letting it go and kind of have communicated and took some videos and photos, it jumped on my phone and actually participated in posting my message. So if you go back to my Instagram account or my Facebook message, you might see between the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, all the miracle stories that I shared about his presence. So yeah, praying mantis has been a very big kind of character or charisma as a spirit animal. And what I would like to, or inviting you all is believe in miracles. Look at the nature, look at the signs, and allow your mind to create the visionary and images, because when you lead your mind to vision, that creates the chi, and we follow the energetical patterns. So on this happy note, I would like to share my presentation today. And as we know, we have entered, not officially quite, but we are entering and coming very, very close to the yin water year of the rabbit, 2023. And the rabbit by nature is discreet. And since the year has not really started quite yet, I just would like to kind of run by these short qualities, or what does it mean, the rabbit? Rabbit is very intuitive. The biggest thing is the intuition. It's gentle, it's quiet, it's peace-loving, it has intelligence, very diverse, dependable, and supportive. And also the rabbit chi is associated with the intimacy, and the intuition is not in a sense of deep spiritual, but it's like awareness, like reading between the lines. When the character is depleted, could be gossipy, snobby, superficial, paranoid, greedy, basically not showing, really not showing their colors, sometimes stubborn and lazy. The main thing for the rabbit quality that we're going to be entering or allowing ourselves to connect to is to remember is the reconnecting to your core values, reconnecting to your family and friends, reconnecting in the sense how much trust and reliability you have with your immediate circle of, immediate environment, immediate circle of family, friends, acquaintances, because it's going to be the year to reset those bonds and those ties with it. Very, very important. Even though the Chinese New Year is going to begin on January 22nd this year, there's always 2 cycles that we are looking at in Feng Shui. Our cycle for the Guo number calculations always is based on solar cycle, which typically begins on February 4th of every year. So identifying the sign, either what your birth year is. If somebody's born after January 22nd, it's going to be a yin water rabbit. Before January 22nd, it's still going to be yang water tiger by nature. So there's a short list of some of the auspicious and especially highlighted days, lucky days for upcoming 3 months, January, February, March. While I'm giving this information just in advance, I might be traveling back to Europe due to my family circumstances. And so just kind of giving you in advance, if you do have any plans, please take into consideration these days in January, February, and March. These are really auspicious in more or less way to compare to any other days, brings the luck and prosperity when you set your intention. So going back, as it's like, of course, we're still in the year of a tiger. I want to kind of remind you a joke that I shared last year about year of a tiger. What would you get when we cross the snowman and tiger? So those who don't know the answer, it's a frostbite. The year of a tiger still is very, very auspicious and special. To compare to all the prior years, a year of a rat or ox, the tiger was following all the austere areas there was no gray area. It was all about our way of be very decisive, being, it's like a general, like a police, either we're going with the law or by law or against the law. There was no maybe in your journey. The tiger stripes were very, very discreet. And I don't know if you know, aware, but just as a reminder, the tiger sign of the king of the jungle, an auspicious sign, as also was interpreted when you look at the calligraphy of the Chinese character for the king or for the ruler and the emperor, and the stripes usually on the third eye area was that will be a kind of significant identity for the animal, for its royalty, loyalty to it. Still, this year was and still is to be brave and to dare do it for some of the characters like monkeys or dogs or horses. This was the year to really go ahead and manifest things. And I can personally verify that this has been a very, very enriched year for my own practice, for my own life circumstances and experiences, that there was no dull moment to stop. It was really, really energetically when it was committing to dare doing it. And I hope you took advantage and still taking advantage of it. The highlight of the year still kind of that prepares us for experiencing the year of a rabbit is our conduct, not about behavioral conduct, but it's really in a spiritual aspect, a spiritual essence. It's not exactly about religion, your beneficial factor, but it was about how you cultivate kindness, how you cultivate um, happiness, or how you cultivate just being nice. And that will be kind of almost like if the practice was implemented during the year of a tiger, then the year of a rabbit, which is upcoming next 12 months, is going to be about self-reflecting. It definitely has one of the beautiful opportunities of this coming year is it gives the opportunity to self-reflect and reset and have an opportunity for new beginnings. The new beginnings is not going to be just a year of 2023, but we are also, by the end of the year of the 2023, we're going to be entering the bigger, larger cycle that takes place based on the flying stars, which there will be 20-year period 9. 2024 to 2044 is going to be year of period 9, fire cycle. And a lot of changes in feng shui and astrology has been anticipated, but this year of a water tiger has been as the base soil of the ground, how you would cultivate, how you, like, let's say, energetically purge, practically purge, how you reset your boundaries. And now you're going to be refining them in a very, very personal way. When the rabbit chi is discreet, what it means is it's not as a big a show off. It really works in not populating things or not loudly announcing things, but keeping the energetical value, keeping to itself. So if you have been brave, competitive, confident, persuasive, honest, then all these qualities, what you have integrated, will be useful and self-reflective in your actions for the next year and a year of a water rabbit. In feng shui, when we, as you may know, we always look in the 3 plateaus. We're looking at the quality of the Ganyin principle, which is we're looking at the time and space and human chi. And what's will be important is to understand that how we connect to the land, to how we are being in sense of the timeliness and with the capacity who we are. So that is a complete feng shui aspect when looking at the things. Heaven, human, and earth chi has to be in alignment. The based on the 5 elements of what is beautiful. Somebody can be muted, please. What is important, and this year becomes also very favorable, the inner element of the rabbit, chi, is wood. And also the inner element of the tiger last year, like this continuous year, also is the wood. So the wood chi, wood energy as a new beginning, as a new reset, is a core adaptation by renewal, by freshness, by simplicity. It's not really going very over exaggerating deep. Like a metal energy would have invite that. So a lot, like when we look back of the also post pandemic time frame, there was a big shift between the 2020, 2021. And I think that the year of 2022 was really for us to recognize where are we leading our quality of energy, our mindset, where are we conquering our position, and how we want to view, how we adapting this new worldview. So year of the rabbit allows us to be adaptable because it's a yin water water year, and because it's also yin water and by inner element of the wood chi, it's gonna give like almost like opportunity to be flexible, refreshed, adaptable, kind of, but not going too wild in the world. It's more like a resetting your front yard or backyard, but like immediate environment. It is about renewing, resetting, viewing it, what it happens in your own space, not directly maybe communicating or criticizing what's happening in society, what's happening in your communities, what's happening in a world is going crazy. That would invite depression. What we're looking for is recognizing and starting with your own physical and physical space, immediate environment, where you are in your, let's say, bedroom, where you are in your kitchen, where you are in your workspace, how you immediately influencing your loved ones, your friends, your coworkers, your clients. So that direct connection is most powerful. And collectively, when we keep this this way of looking at them, we collectively generating a better society. And this is something also the Confucius was used to talk during his teachings. Another reminder from this from the year of a water tiger was the being communicated, because the water element is still in power in a transition. That's why I said is that the transition should be flawless if you have practiced communicating, and if you have been cultivating your spiritual, kind of growing in spiritual aspect. Because now all those practices kind of embedded, and you can practice within with we don't need to, like during the year of a rabbit, there's no need to convince anyone or prove it. It's just, it's shared in a very intimate kind of circle of community for you to experience your practice, okay? So that's then if when you go back to the reading about water and how it governs also kidneys and certain organs, those organs is also relates to our awareness of how we listen, what is our inner voice, what is our external voice. These two elements like more connect to the quality of element. I invite you also to go back to maybe the previous last year presentation, talking and refreshing your memory about water chi, and especially yin water chi. That's what we can refer to. It's like a Lake Baikal, like a largest freshwater source in the world, how, how compact, how unique it is, how it's been for, existed for so many, hundreds of thousands of years, actually millions of years based on the species. So look back to the quality of the water energy that is almost when you have a stillness in a glass, and it's not like storming waves in the ocean that we have right now, what's going on in a couple of days in a Bay Area. We're looking at the yin qualities of the water chi. The yin qualities is adaptation in a sense of the peacefulness, self-reflection, adaptation in the sense of like adapting to the situation. And we do this as a whole society, especially transitioning after the post-pandemic and creating a new reality, creating a new norm, and hopefully the quality of the water chi and wood chi is very, very supportive for the next, I would say not only for the next year, but also fulfilling for the next decade. I like the example of the wood chi as the Olympics at the beginning. Just think about you are planting the seed. The year, I know it usually comes with the idea of new way of like committing to certain things, and let's say going to the gym, and I'm going to lose the weight, and I'm going to do this, and there will be a lot of commitments. Please don't exhaust that. Like every new beginning is about the seed, about the yin, creating the root, going deep, anchoring first before you sprout out, before you establish. So allow the seed to develop in the soil. And now when we think adding the water element, like a yin water, keeping the moist, keeping the refreshed, not overpowering, not over emotionally overwhelming it, but keeping in balance. Regarding the feng shui, so as you know, based on the feng shui, we have based on the flying star element, we're gonna have a number 4 in the middle. I'm going to flying the stars, and this particular diagram in the center allows us to identify what areas there's certain areas brings a tremendous luck based on feng shui, and there's also the certain areas that I would still invite you to practice the salt cures. Though, I mean, this is for the existing clients, and if you're new to my community, to my teachings, I'm happy to share that information. So areas to be aware of that brings luck this particular year in 2023 definitely is the south, because we have a water star 8 arriving in the south area, in south sector. Then also the new, because we're gonna be going through the transition and entering the 2024 as a new decade, new period 9. So this is a new abundantly rising star in the north. So the south and the north this particular year, the areas to treasure. So those who have the main door or house property facing south or facing north, this gives you like really a nice way of resetting the quality of energy into the home. The areas that we would like to be aware of, it doesn't mean we need to be avoiding it or somehow, but kind of creating that awareness. And I think by building the salt cures and setting up intention in the east this particular year, and in the west, that was one of the areas, but especially northwest where the flying star 5 is arriving. So the east, the sickness star 2 or disease star 2 is located, and the northwest with star 5. These will be the 2 areas for the salt cure practice. Again, when we need to review your Chinese astrology for the 2022, for the 2023 progression chart and the feng shui adjustments for existing clients, that will be part of our consultation. So welcome the questions. Those as a reminder, since this is going to be recorded, and how to set up this salt cures. There's the a short diagram for stars 2 and 5. And this particular year, that's going to be in the east and northwest direction. We use the jar, the salt, the coins, the water, and most important thing is how we set up our intention, setting up the prayer intention to just to be a reminder that the prevailing or unfortunate prevailing is like we setting up the boundaries. It doesn't mean that we invite the energy, let's say bad energy, into our physical space, but we creating the boundaries and blessings and purification that takes upon. The salt cures usually set up the old salt cures from the last year, going to be dismissed on February 3rd, and new salt cures to be set up on February 4th. That is going with the cycle of the based on the solar cycle of the new year. Exciting part, of course, is setting up your red envelopes. As you always know, that this particular year, red envelopes are going to be set up in the south area of your that's easy to identify. Anywhere you see the sun is set in the midday and is very bright and shiny, that will be a key like a reference point for the south direction. The red envelopes, when we use the 8, is feng shui a very good infinite number, but we setting up in the configuration of the trigram Li, which is the fire. You can see the yang, yin, yang lines. Again, it's all relates to the correlated thinking. And when you do set up the envelopes, or we can have those who have more questions, I'll be happy to again assist. But these are just a very, very simple, basic, fun principles. The main point is, with the investment that we never set up the empty envelopes. We always use a certain amount of money, and you can use the auspicious, like my typically is 108, and however it's distributed, it's fun to share the envelopes with the kids and neighbors and strangers as you wish. It's just a beautiful tradition to practice. So, and the main thing is it's a commitment that you set up as a gift giving investment into universal quality of chi. You just at the beginning of the year you set up that intent, and you make it. That's like in a sense of the offering. This is where it's correlated to why. Those who are interested, this is my teacher of the Ming, which I dearly love. We know he passed in 2015, but on his website, I was just doing today, I was listening to his voice and his recording from the Year of a Rabbit, of your metal rabbit, of the 2011. And I invited to copy this link and use this recording for your self-educational aspect, because there's just so much more information for revealing how the energy, or how metaphysics, and how not maybe particular year of a water rabbit, but in general how it does work, and it's just that it's delight to listen to him. All right, some more brief about the astrology piece for this coming year. As you know, when we look at the astrology, I look at what hour you are born, and this is the very quick chart to kind of reveal what animal you relate, depends on the hour of birth. Main thing to remember that there's a compatibility chart. Like during the year of a rabbit, the compatibilities between the year of somebody who is either born in the hour of the pig, or the year of a pig, or or the goat or sheep. So this is the trinity. This is the triangle affinity. And then for a rabbit, the secret friend of rabbit is, so it's a is dog. So the rabbit dog, if you are in a conflict, or if your door, for example, is facing west, okay, as a, like, let's say it's a conflicting chi for rabbit and for rooster. So rooster might not be, because of this year, not this year we want to be more intuitive rather than precise in a as a roosters would be announcing things or being more detail oriented. This year we invite to be more engage your gut feeling, emotion, looking for signs, looking for observing the nature, um, interpreting things in a metaphysical, maybe sometimes it's just like being an edge between the real world and a dream world, which is also, real world. So the roosters might be in a sense of a self-conflicting and maybe always want to have a date of improvement. So I would invite the rooster chi quality people, or either the born an hour rooster or the year of a rooster, to kind of hold back and experience what it means, what to feel, what is right, not just by the book right or number right, but what is that really has a sense. For example, when I was listening to the recording of my teacher, he said, well, just think about it. Somebody would ask, to the rabbit quality cheese, like what time it is. They would say, instead of the responding maybe with the exact time, they would say, oh, I know why you're asking. So there would be other way of interpreting the awareness of it. The when we do look at the this is just example. So when we do look at the chart or projection chart for upcoming year, we always look at your external capacity, your natal capacity, and your internal capacity. So that with the year of reading the progression charts, that's always makes a difference. And this was from the last year for Vladimir Putin. When I was looking at it, this year finally it's interesting how the year of a tiger does not really allow, energetically does not allow to commit and say, I want to create peace or stop the war, for example. And this is because, who would in a jungle, because you don't want to be in a position of losing, as a lost opportunity, or like looking at the being a loser. So I believe that the energetical patterns of the year of a rabbit, it will allow softly softening and actually do seek for peace and seek for mediation or interfering with the aggression. And yes, so we'll see what the results are. But as I said, the year is still not over. The year of a tiger is still very mature, very, very it's not leaving, like it's not just dying out. It has its, physical presence, but there's also energetical presence, very, very strong, to the very last day. So, and it's also been, it's been supported by the monthly chi. So transition itself has to be, it's gonna be smooth. And if you have invested in yourself in this past year, like, practicing or, creating your own kind of developing your spiritual practices, that result for upcoming year of the yin water rabbit and self-reflecting or in a kind of a meditative state could be very powerful. One of the things that I wrote down when I was preparing myself is just simple think about inviting the sense of meditation. Anything that we do metaphysically, it is about alchemy. And alchemy itself, without meditation, like meditation without the intention is just It's just chemistry. That does not, alchemy is only becomes when we connect our physical body, our energy body, and our spirit body. So if there's any questions, I'll be opening up, but otherwise, this is a short introduction to transition. I will be presenting about each animal in Chinese New Year on February on my next, and also follow other venues and other events of my presentation, where I'm going to be precisely discussing each animal and how it really works energetically and practically this year with the yin water rabbit chi. So who do I still have? I'd be happy to open the mic, and if there's any questions, any discussion, I'll be happy to talk about it. So that's my official presentation part is over. So thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
So I've always done the salt cure jars without a lid on it, and I noticed your picture has the lid. So I'm interested in knowing if I should do with the lid, because I find myself having to refill the water because it dries out, especially during the summer.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to, I feel like if I have the lid on it, then I would have to open it and I don't want to touch it.
No, so the thing is, when we do with either with the lid or without lid, I mean, of course, there's that without lid, that was the original, but I also have images and pictures from clients that when there was with the lid, and salt would outgrow or darken if they overcome or was protection sign. So it's not about actually physically about the jar, to be honest, but intent, energetical intent that you create as you are setting it all up. It's the physical presence of the jar that allows us at the early stage just to kind of maintain that awareness. But when your awareness is established, it's like almost like we know how we get in a meditative state, right? There's certain, when we align ourselves, there's like, okay, I'm in that phase. So take this opportunity of the practice of the salt cures. It's not about doing right or wrong. It's about the quality of intent and understanding why we are doing it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I also get like confused on this ionized salt or iodinized salt versus the sea salt. Yeah.
So I would say sea salt, like that's, would be the in my recommendation. I use sometimes go to the lowest shelves in the Chinese stores or the Asian stores, right? They get a bigger bag and just use that crystallized, because it allows to crystallize and grow. And all it is to get your state and mind and presence in alignment with your set intention with it. When you have to refill it, let's say it was depleted and refill it, it's more like a reminder. It's nothing to do, it's not a vicious act. It's more like a refreshing. It's almost like when we're watering the flowers.
Yeah. What's funny is when I start to feel like things are off, I'm like, let me go check. And I notice it's a little dry. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I have to fill it back up. Yeah. So
because I think this is also
interesting.
Yeah, but in feng shui itself, we know we connect to the bigger, like we create you prolonging the bridge, something that could be just now is like now and here. But I also, my experience that I shared with, let's say what happened with my dad, that was so, I just realized it's so expansive, so powerful, because what happens is you tap into that energetical pattern with the endless, can think about infinite potential, because we take our ego out. We are not the generators, right? We are the nature.
Yeah.
within.
Right.
And then if you have that understanding tapping in, it empowers instantly, but it doesn't deplete us if we diminish the ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? One thing that I do have, something I would like to announce is that I have created a special discounted rate until the end of January. It's available on my site for all the new clients and also for existing clients for upcoming feng shui and astrology progression chart readings. So take a note. It's valid until, if you book and sign up, until the January 31st. And then I also very grateful and inviting you to maintain, and please help me to continue support the Bhutanese Little Monks project, and also Sanjay Dorje, because the baby boy, our Ming, our Ming, my teacher, he's going to be turning 1 years old and celebrate his rebirth and coming back, manifesting after 7-year cycle. I am just very thrilled and would love to celebrate along the way. So that's all available on my website, as you have access to it. So
Perfect.
anyone else? Bunny, Kyla, Danita? We still have a little time. Quiet today. Well,
I have one more question. I noticed in the email it said the black water rabbit. What does the black part mean?
black is more like it. That's what the yin. That's the black. Like think about so the character of the rabbit chi is correlates to the moon. And what is moon? Moon is a reflective light of the sun.
Oh.
So that's why it's kind of gets like
Yes.
like inner being, inner sense. One thing for sure, this particular year, you want to practice the rabbits are always about knowing, having the always 2 exits under any circumstances. There's always plan A and plan B. If somebody's just stays and sticks to just the one idea or one aspect of this is the only way I'm gonna, and no flexibility or no even seeing what if the circumstances are, and pivot and be kind of secretive, like be like a very, rigid and not adaptable, then you're going against the quality of energy of the yin water rabbit. Right? So that would be I can share from I think that would be one of the examples. When I was in 1988, I was in a beauty pageant, and on the stage, out of the 10 competing beauty queens, we had a dance of like a dance of the water sea, like ocean sea, and we would given on a stage, each of us would receive like a silk white gown, and then we have to kind of be in a dance that was dance of that element. And I ended up, out of 10 girls, I ended up somebody that basically got 2 silk coats, and I on a stage live, I was left without one. So I was basically have to adapt instantly, and instead of the walking off the stage, they gave me a flower, and all that the dance or that performance was just created on a spot. So unpredictable circumstances is also kind of, was like, plan A, plan B. Sometimes you can be by surprise. You have to be extremely adaptable. This is why it's a water chi, the sense and a feeling, not the paranoia, but sense and a feeling of like, oh, I can do this, or And that is trained based on the qualities that you've done in the year of a tiger. So it's all linked. And then you can also think forward that the year of a dragon is going to be next. What is that going to be, right? But it's a wood dragon. That's going to be loud and proud, maybe a little arrogant about it. But when can you be arrogant? When you actually experience things. So the year of a rabbit allows us to go deeper and experience and raise the confidence. What actually like, let's say if you are sitting in meditation, to finding the pivot of bliss, or maybe out-of-body experience, that is what you're going to be able to kind of verify or talk about or be proud about in 2024. So these are just examples, but in general, that's a concept. So, well, I see that the date, the 7th of every month might be our it, and next month I will be more in detail. We'll be talking about each character, each astrology character for year of a rabbit, and how it's compared. Kind of what is the quality of energy if you are either a pig or a rat or ox or tiger, and what will be the general auspice for upcoming year. Well, I would say then, thank you for attending. Thank you for being a part of this experience. I greatly appreciate, and I'm looking forward to this upcoming year, because it should actually have to have a sense of peace in mind, in a kind of very innocent way, connecting like in an innocence, like fresh thought is the best thought, but in a very easy, be simplify things as well. Okay. Stop.